there a way to ungo live? Well, everybody's going to get an alert saying that we're starting this early. Hopefully I can edit this out. This was not intentional. All right, well, if anybody has any questions, they'll post them in the chat. So, hi everybody, my name is Triston and welcome back to my channel. Today I want to show you how I created this website. Start to finish, it took about 15 minutes. This is all AI generated, but the AI used to generate it is where the system is actually really interesting. So this is just an Amazon affiliate, so if you click on this, it'll take you to Amazon, and then like you can buy the products and stuff, and then I get a commission off of that, right? So nothing too crazy. Something that's a little bit more crazy would be something like this. So this is a fiber internet lead gen site that we've been working on. So if we click this, there's an actual speed test built into it. And then again, like all the individual steps and processes inside of this thing, these are all like generated by the AI, which is kind of neat. So we click that. We're going to enter our email in here. There's 2 people in the household. We have a few devices, not a ton. Streaming, all this kind of stuff. We don't really have any smart devices. 2 people work from home. Streamer, it's not actually true, but I don't, it's kind of what I want. Slow speeds, like that. Yes. Sorry, all right, cool. So here's the plan you should actually be using. And again, it's going through, it's analyzing your test results in order to figure out like what the best option would actually be. Here's your comparison. So that's what I have now. This is what I could have. I'm ready to make the switch. Sure. And then from here, like you would go through your information, everything else. And then like all of this actually works. Now we have a whole bunch of different plans on here, and these are going to depend on what's available by the area. So then when you go in and you actually enter the areas that, wherever it is that you live, then the system will update and show you like what the actual correct plans that you have available to you are. So like we'll grab this one here. 1, 2, 3. City, state. So it's really just checking the area code. It's like, all right, cool. So these are the plans that are available to you. It's suggesting they go with the 2 gig one that was saying before. So yeah, let's go with that. Oh, did it not work? Come on, don't make me look bad. This, select, oh, there it goes. Then you just fill out your information, and then we get the lead, and then we have a team of people who actually go and follow up with these guys and sell them, which is kind of neat. So again, this is all entirely built through the AI, the entire lead capture system, all the extra stuff that goes into this is all AI generated. We also have articles that were written up, also generated by the AIs, and these are specifically talking about like, so in this case we have like 2 primary audiences that we're going after. So we have the gamers and we have people who are working from home. And so the system goes through and says, as well, like if somebody goes through, goes through the quiz, enters their email, but then they don't sign up, and it says, well, we have like an abandoned cart issue here. And so it'll look at that quiz result and say, okay, so these folks said that they're gamers, so we're going to make sure we send them this gaming article that talks about, you know, how fiber internet is better for gaming, how fiber internet is better for working from home, all that kind of stuff. And that way we have a follow-up sequence that also goes into the, the lead gen. And again, all 100% generated by the AI. Here's another one. I just like the design of this one. I think you did a really good job. I like the animations. I like the movement on the site. Like, it feels really high tech and everything. It's pretty cool. And this one goes to a chatbot that I built for this gentleman here, Mr. Murdoch, who's a good buddy of mine. Same thing over here. This is a local real estate site. So this one, like the homepage isn't super crazy, but like the system behind it, like this is all created inside of these tools. So this is pulling live data from the MLS. So the question is, how do we actually do this? How does all this stuff work? Well, allow me to introduce something I haven't given a good name to yet. This is my funnel tool. So calling it a funnel tool, again, it's actually a little bit of a understatement. It does a lot more than just building these sales funnels, and I want to kind of walk you all through that. But just because I believe in transparency and not, beating around the bush, this is pricing. So $49 a month to get, it should only be one funnel, not 10. And then $100 a month to get 5 funnels. And then if you want us to build the funnel for you, we can also do that. I need to come back. I keep updating this and it keeps getting distracted, but I will fix that here in just a minute. But that's how much this thing costs. So let me kind of show you what this actually does. So what it does, oh, and then also before I forget, so the output from the system looks like this. So you have basically a report that has your offer breakdown. It has your branding. It has the actual funnel copy and content right here. And then it has your ad recommendations. So this is kind of an older one, but I'll show you a few of these. This is the one for the pizza stone, this one. So this is what went into that. This is what it looks like. And then the idea here is that, like, not everybody's going to be using like the same tools for building their websites. Some people really like WordPress. Some people really like doing it hand coded. Some people really like, high level, whatever. This kind of gives you that flexibility where you can do a lot of different things with it. But then you can also take this and plug this into your vibe coder of choice and have it actually build the websites for you. So that's kind of what we're looking at here, is how that part works. But again, here is the funnel structure and copy. And then your ad recommendations. This is one for a site that I'm working on for myself, selling my vibe coding skills. And this is for a local handyman that I was working on as well. So this one's a little bit more advanced because it has the audience profile. This is something new that was added before these other 3 are finished. But this gives you a breakdown of like who the actual audience is, so what their pain points are, their desires, their objections, buying triggers, that kind of stuff. And then you get your branding, funnel strategy, and copy, ad breakdown. So from here, you can view site previews. So kind of get an idea of what the site could look like, and then you can make adjustments to these as well if you're not 100% happy with it. And then what you actually do with all this is you take the images and you take this exports MD folder. We'll go ahead and save that right there. Let's go ahead and open that. And then this gives you a set of instructions that you give to your AI builders, and then they turn that into a website. And like the whole funnel and everything else is built into it too. So that's kind of an overview of like what it costs, what it gives you. And now I'm going to kind of walk you guys through that process so you can see like how difficult it is to go from 0 to an up and running website relatively quickly. So let's see here. Let's find an interesting product I was thinking about. I was thinking Pokemon cards, right? Just because these seem to be trending quite a lot right now. So let's do this. Yeah, sure, whatever. Let's do Last Epoch. We're going to do a video game. So this is a game that I actually really like. Let's do... Let's actually go back to the Steam page. And then does this have, there it is, read more. Cool, so we'll go with something like that. So what we're going to do is we're just going to grab everything, Control A to select all, Control C to copy all. We're going to come over here to our fancy tool. So when you first log into this, it's going to ask you to create a team. This will allow you to bring in like co-workers, colleagues, employees, clients, whatever. So that way they can kind of see you and co-work on the task. We're going to call this last epoch. I need to fix the coloring here. It's there, I just need to fix that. Epoch. I spelled epoch wrong. Last epoch. Close enough. So, first thing it's going to ask you to do is to give it the offer. So this can be as detailed or as abstract as you like. So it can scrape websites as well. So if you already have a website kind of built up, or if you're doing this for a client and just kind of want to give them a fresh update to the design and kind of help with like CRO and that kind of stuff, you can just do that. Special notes and instructions. This is things like cultural stuff, industry specific stuff, target market nuances, all that kind of stuff goes right here. Then any reference files. So for example, if you're using my other tool, Genty, for the avatar stuff, then you could grab the avatars and drop them in here. I've been working on the tool that does analysis of comments off of YouTube videos. So you can take that and drop that into here. Really whatever it is that you want. But we're just going to go the easy route here. So we're going to say this. We're going to say this is ARPG, players, Path of Exile. Let's do this. Fans of Path of Exile, Diablo 2, 3, and 4, and similar games. Target audience is. So something like that. Analyze the offer, and then what this is going to do is basically going to give us like the summary of what the entire offer actually is here, right? So there's our offer type, price point, target audience, main benefits, unique mechanisms, key features, emotional hooks, credibility, urgency. Cool. Next, offer analysis. We could say, hey, suggest an audience for us. And we're going to bring that down to 10 because it's going to take a little while if we don't. But it's going to say, all right, cool. So here's a description of the audience. We're going to find some matching personas. And again, this is pulling from the Genty tool. So it's going through my database of over 2,300 like human clones. So we cloned their personalities, we cloned their decision-making processes, their pain points, all that fun stuff. And it's all just sitting inside of a database, and it's plugged into this. And so what this is doing now is it's pinging that other database and saying, hey, we want 10 avatars, we want 10 personas who kind of fit this description right here, right? And that system's going, all right, cool. Let's go see what we can find. So it's going to go through, it's going to grab all that information, it's going to bring it back, and again, it's going to give us those avatars. So we just got to wait a minute. This part does take a little bit longer. There are a bunch that are like already pre-saved, and like these are all of your previously used avatars, so you don't have to go back and get them multiple times, just because it is a little bit of, this is the longest part of the process. Cool, there we go. So we're going to select those folks, we're going to import them into the system. Excellent. Let's grab our last epoch group, select everybody. Then the other thing you can do is if you already have a whole bunch of like avatars already on your account, and you want to see if they'd be a good fit or not, but just because like they're not exactly the same audience, click here where it says Analyze Audience Fit, and then what it will do is it will again kind of go through, analyze those avatars, look and see which ones would be the best fits and which ones wouldn't be, and it kind of helps you filter those things down a little bit more, and it gives you a little bit more of a breakdown of like who these people are, what kind of things they're interested in, and so on. So that was the longest and most boring part of this because it's the slowest. Clicking next again takes to funnel structure. So we're going to click that and talk while it's going. So what this is doing is going to go through and look at the offer. It's going to look at the audience. It's going to look at the pain points, and it's going to figure out, okay, what would be the best funnel structure to use to promote this offer. Okay. Now we'll talk about like the back end of this in a little bit, like what makes this different from other standard AIs. but the quick and dirty version of it is that it's not using your standard RAG system for its memory data retrieval. It's using something called a graph RAG. So essentially, instead of the AI just having like all of its documents like saved to its vector store, its knowledge base, and going through and like breaking down into chunks and then analyzing the chunks and so on. This is actually taking all the information that's been trained on and it's saving it to an external database, and then it uses things like SQL to go through, find the specific elements within that database that it needs in order to have more context. And so part of that, the reason I'm bringing that up, is because the system has a ton of different funnel structures and layouts and concepts, all saved inside of its memory, and then it's going to go through all those different options and say, okay, out of all these options, which one's going to be the best fit for this particular offer for the specific audience, and if there isn't a good option, what tweaks could I make to one of these in order to make it a better fit for that audience? And then this is what it drops right here. So you can see this is a custom design. This is one that was like pre-built. And this is another custom design that's a little bit crazier, right? So it has this a wildcard option. So it has, it's going to go through, it's going to look for pre-built structures that it have already been tested. And again, if it can't find any that it doesn't really like, it's going to start making some recommendations. And then sometimes it will also come up with this wildcard, like what if we did something completely different type thing. And that's what this is. So an interactive story landing page, deep story and crafting case study, value add and nurture email sequence, sales page with urgency, checkout, thank you. I'm not sure that's the best fit for a video game. I think the best one's actually this top one here. So it's a pre-demo landing page, a game demo and a free trial, post-demo sales page, checkout page, thank you and access, post-purchase welcome, and engagement sequence. That sounds just about perfect for me. I think the challenge is also an interesting approach to it. So you could have, actually says, the funnel appears to the dedicated ARPG enthusiast, desire for community mastery. The challenge provides micro commitments and hands-on experience without a full demo. So that could be interesting. So like if you were to have like the demo and then say, okay, look, we're going to be running this challenge. We want to see how much DPS can you generate, using this skill or something like that. Like, kind of interesting. But I think we'll go with with this one up here. It's a little bit simpler. So we're going to click next. And next we need to do our branding for the funnel. So we can either go through and manually adjust any of these as we want, or we can ask the AI to do it for us. But again, colors, typographies, tone and voice guidelines, visual references, style and notes. So what do we do here? That looks pretty, actually that looks really similar to their real colors too. It has a little bit more purple than the real one, but that'll work. I like that. So and then again, if we want to make any adjustments to this, we can come back, edit, change, update, whatever we want. Next step is to write our copy. So we click we click the button, right? And now what this is going to go through and do is going to take all the individual steps for the funnel, and then it's also going to look at the offer, look at the audience, look at the branding, so it's giving the style guide, the voice, the tone, and everything else. So, all right, cool, I have all this information. Now I'm going to go through that database. I'm going to start pulling out all the parts and pieces of information that are relevant to, writing copy, that are relevant to, targeting the specific type of audience and everything else. And there is our, so there's the pre-demo landing page. Here's the free trial. I think we're actually missing a couple of pages. Let's try this again. We give this just a second. And again, it is a little bit of a slower process because it's going through a lot of stuff. Like, especially if we have a lot of steps in the funnel, like sometimes we have to give it a minute to go through and look at it. But I mean, it's not bad. It's like, here's your headline, stop grinding, start dominating. I might act, so the idea behind this specific game is that it's less grindy than other games. So that fits. The ARPG you've been waiting for, deep customization, upload, zero pay to win, finally. Download the free demo. Still writing? Still writing. And again, this thing's going through. I think this funnel had 5 steps. Yeah, so there's the other ones. Checkout page and everything else. So cool, that looks great. Click next. And then from here, if we want to get some ads to actually run this, or to like promote this thing, to generate the ads. And again, this thing has hundreds, almost 1,000 examples of different ad formats, ad styles, ad tones, reference material on writing ads. Like, it's all in here. It's all pretty darn neat. There's a lot of stuff going into this system. I'm actually kind of proud of it. So like, again, it's not just like, hey, ChatGPT, can you write some ads for me? It's actually going through and looking into the psychology. It's looking into buyer behavior. It's looking into the branding. It's looking into the audience, because it has so much super rich data. Then it allows it to go a lot deeper than you would normally get with, with other tools that are out there. Like I said, even ChatGPT, like, it doesn't have this level of granularity and like the ability to go through and pull from all these different parts and pieces of information, right? So there are our ads, targeting recommendations as well. If you wanted to generate some pictures for you, you go like that, and then here are, so that's the 2 images that it likes. Again, these are Facebook, Instagram, more Facebook, Google ads, and YouTube ads. And it even gives you your script for your YouTube ad. Now, if you wanted to, we can actually take this and we can say, hey, Genty, because Genty is, again, very plugged into this. We can say, all right, go through, grab those avatars that we picked at the beginning, give them these ads, give them the funnel, give them the branding and everything else, and give us feedback on the funnel that we've been working on, like what's good, what's bad, what needs to be adjusted, so on and so forth. And again, this is going to take just a second because the connection between the two is a little bit slow. But we'll give these just a second. And then again, what I said was happening is this is actually going through and it's pulling, oh, finished already. It's doing an MCP that I collected to it. So how clear is the messaging is good, overall quality of the content, how likely are you to take action on the based on the content? It's actually a little bit lower, so it's slightly higher than neutral. So that's not horrible. So what stood out? Content is passionate, designed to entice fans. That's great. Repeated emphasis on community backing, positive reviews, lend credibility. Some parts of the messaging feel a bit overhyped and repetitive, which might dilute the overall impact. Presentation can benefit from more concise narrative, while the enthusiasm is evidence. Simplifying the language in places and avoiding redundancy could make it more impactful. Including some information about technical details or unique features not commonly found in ARPGs could further pique interest. So yeah, solid advice. And then you can see its individual breakdown, right? So it's kind of neutral. This one's kind of neutral. This one's more interested in it. It likes the game a little bit more. Who is this? Ava Lewis. Thanks, Ava. So what we can do now is go, all right, cool. That actually makes sense. I'd like to apply this feedback to the funnel without having to go back and do the whole thing. So instead we click apply feedback. And so what's happening now is it's going to go back to the previous steps and it's going to say, hey, we got some feedback on the funnel, on the ads, on the branding, on the offer, and we'd like you to update the, those items based off of the, what the other AIs have said. And then we can go through and we can get feedback again if we wanted to, but I don't want to spend all day on here. But the idea is for these scores to then improve and get a little bit better. So next step is to review the funnel. We'll start up here at the top. And this is very similar to what we saw a minute ago when we're looking at the exports. This just has a little bit more information. Funnel steps, copy sections, ad variants, buyers that are built in, average score and feedback. Here's your offer breakdown again. Here are the funnel steps. We can tell it to expand them all so we can actually see them. Again, if you're wanting to build this on like a high level and you don't necessarily want to have an AI go through and do it, but you still want the information, click this, copy text, and then it'll bring everything back and forth, right? Just copy and paste, copy, paste. So I'll have to double check that. Looks like that didn't pass over. Here are your ads. Here's your audience profile. And it's finished. Okay. Now, there are a couple extra things that we can do with this. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to click here where it says Preview Funnel, Generate Previews. And what this is going to do is it's going to create those images of what the sites could potentially look like. Oh, that's actually kind of sexy. I kind of like that, to be honest. It actually kind of even fits with the game too. It's our free trial. And again, like these aren't like, full built websites quite yet. This is just, visual inspiration reference. And so if we don't like any of these, we can regenerate them, we can turn them off, we can, there's a whole bunch of stuff that we can do. This is the game I wanted Diablo 4 to be. Yeah. There's your checkout page, your thank you and your access page, and then our post-purchase welcome page. Cool. So now we have our previews. We're going to go ahead and save those. Done. Now, one feature here that's in beta is this. So this is plugged into Google Stitch, and the connection isn't great quite yet. We've been using Stitch here again in just a second. But what this is supposed to do is to give you a kind of like a little bit of an interactive preview of what the site would actually look like and feel like. So again, got to wait a little bit for this one to finish, and it's definitely a lot slower. But work in progress, but it is kind of cool. Eventually, one of the things I want to have this thing be able to do is I do want to fix the Stitch integration, so that way you can just click the export button, and then like it'll give you all the CSS, all the HTML and everything, and then you just take that, you upload it into your server, and you're done, right? Like that would be cool. Or also connecting it to, there are a bunch of other like website building AI tools that I really like. So I've been looking at a tool called B12, b12.io. I've been looking at, obviously I use Lovable quite a lot, starting to really like Stitch quite a lot. Replic's actually pretty good for this too. So there's a lot of different options. And of course Cloud Code and, or Cloud Code, excuse me, and other tools, like they're all pretty handy. Are you actually going to run for me, or are you just pretending? Oh, there it is. So kind of just a simple preview of what the site would actually look like, right? So that's that part. Now, what do we do with all this when it's actually done? So what I like to do is I go to download all, and we'll go ahead and drop that in here. And then this is going to give us our MD file, and it's also going to give us the previews, right? So let's come back over here and let's do, extract this like that. Now from here, there are a couple different things that we can do, but essentially we already have all of our copy, we already have the funnel structure, we already have the promotional stuff that we need for it, so our ads, we can have it do social media posts, we can have it do a whole bunch of other stuff. We have some design concept art that we already have and like, and so really at this point we hand this off to our designer, to our developer. They can go through and they can build the site. If we don't have a designer or a developer, we can go to something like Lovable. So Lovable was built, or the pizza page, right, was built in Lovable, and I will show you the entire chat here. So I said, hey, I need you to build this site. But no checkout, but send people to this Amazon link instead. Here are the reference images, and here's the MD file. So, all right, cool. And it built the whole thing. So I gave us some plans, and then that was it. Super fast, super easy, and it took like 5 minutes for it to build this website for me. Like I said, it's a good looking website. I have recently started messing around more with Stitch, and I like Stitch quite a lot. So let's go ahead and give this thing the same thing. We want last epoch. There's that. And we're going to say, can you build this sales funnel for me? And then we're going to say, instead of a checkout, send users to this URL. And we're going to tell it to go with the fancy one, and go. So at this point, it actually still isn't great. Okay, that's not the one I'm looking for. We can't upload the reference images in that first prompt. We have to wait till now. And we can have only a certain number of images in here, which is just kind of silly. I think you can only do 5. Here are some reference images. So I'm going to grab all of those. Our MD file right here. So again, this has all the offer, all the information. There's our offer. Here's our audience analysis. Here's the branding guide. Here are the style notes, and here's the individual copy for each page. And here are the ad recommendations. So again, now we're just going to let the AI go through, read all that, and then say, all right, cool. I like this website. Here's what it will look like. And then this is going to take just a couple minutes. So while we are waiting for that, let me show you some of the other cool stuff that we can do with Funnel Forge here. So first, if you're not quite ready to build the funnel and you still kind of want to play around with the offer a little bit, you can actually do that right here. There's a standalone version of the offer analysis tool. So again, paste in your information, give it all your notes, give it all your reference files and everything. It'll go through and it'll create that offer for you. We have an email sequence builder in here as well. So again, it's taking all that same information. It's taking all the same data from that database in order to create the content here. And then a new one that we just added is a post writer. So this is kind of cool. Essentially, let's say a new group. We can go through and we can create like a list of keywords or search topics we'd be interested in. So we'll say last epoch. So we're going to name it last epoch. First topic is that. Path of Exile. Diablo 4. And we'll say Diablo 2. And Torchlight. Save all of that. Now tell it to go out and research the topics. And then this is using essentially its Perplexity. It's going to go out, it's going to research all those topics, and then it's going to come back and it's going to give us a like a list of like just interesting things that have happened over like the last week, just that way we have like some fresh and relevant content to take a look at. So first thing it's going to do is going to go out and grab all that information for us. It's going to look like this. Come on, buddy. Let's check in on this. Oh, hey, there we go. So let's grab these. So that's step 1. This is step 2, 3. And it looks like it actually gave us a couple of variations of this. So that's good. So this is like the original ones, and this is the one using the reference images. So let's come back to this. All right, cool. So we have key developments from the past week, notable trends and statistics, and then like stories and stuff. So if we wanted to do, let's just pick one of these. So we can pick one. It's going to give us a little bit like the information that's actually included in here. That looks great. So then what we can do is we can tell it to go and do a deep dive. So it's going to take this specific topic and then go through and do like a really deep analysis of all the individual parts and pieces that are included in this. So again, this is talking about the Shattered Omens launch, which was actually playing before this stream. It's pretty good. So deep dive is now complete. Here is our deep dive. I do need to fix the display of the information here. Again, this is a very, very new tool that we just added to this. But if I click Create Post, then it's going to bring me down here. So we want to do Facebook, update that. We can pick the funnel that we want this to be associated with. And by doing this, it's going to also bring in, again, the offer. It's going to bring in the audience. It's going to bring in the copy. It's going to bring in all the extra information that we already have. So just makes the post creation a little bit smarter. And again, this thing has almost 1,000 points of reference materials inside of it in order to help it create better content, right? So the first thing it's going to do is it's going to let you pick from a couple different hooks. Yeah, I think that's a good one. And then here's our body variations. Looks good. And then our call to action. with something like that. Probably something like that. And then this will automatically go through and it will update. So like right now it says ready to hunt epic loot. If we select this one instead, it just automatically updates. And then we click copy and then we can save this and we can just go and post it. We can also say, hey, generate some images for us based off of what we got. We can also enter the description of the image that we want, or just let the system go through and figure that out by itself. And then additionally, we have our avatar still in here. So again, by pulling in the funnel that we've been working on, we also have our avatars. And so they'll go through and they'll actually give us feedback on that social media post before we actually publish it, which is, again, super handy. And then really quickly, create an instant prototype for me. So are these things still thinking? They're still thinking. There it goes. So there are our responses. So a little above average, probably good. So we'd probably be safe sharing that. Then our images done yet? Images are still processing. Oh, there it is. This is running on Nano Banana. It actually got screenshots from, like these are actually from the game. That's interesting. I do need to give it the ability to do like different aspect ratios and stuff, and then to save these. But again, like I said, it's a brand new feature. It's a brand new function we just added to this. So there's still a little bit more room to grow here. But that's pretty handy. So again, if I wanted to go out and promote this, I have the ads I could promote. I have some cool images and some posts and stuff that I can share. And then eventually I want to be able to automate this so that way whenever whenever you want, then it can just go through and publish these posts for you, which would be really cool. So let's take a look at this real quick. And then I want to do like that. Isn't there a way to do a, there it is, the pop out. So here is our site. So that looks good. Let's see here. We have our other pages. And none of this is like set in stone, right? So we can always come back and say, hey, change this, change that, replace this image, connect this thing with the thing. We have all that extra like control that you would normally have when working with like an AI tool. So it's pretty darn good. And then also, if I'm not mistaken, you click on this and it should take you to, I was probably not set up in that quite yet. But yes, like I said, we can take this and we can actually just go out and publish it. If we come back over here to this, then we can select these and we can export, and we can export them as, we can even export them directly as a React app. And then we can take that, give that to Lovable, and then it turns it into the website. We can also download it just as a zip, do the exact same thing. There's a lot of cool stuff that you can do with it. But essentially that takes you from 0 to having a full-blown website. Now we've been on here for 30 minutes, but there's a lot of me stopping and showing stuff. Like, you can see how fast the process is when you're not live streaming it, right? But that's it. So like you said, it's a really, really powerful tool. It's really, really helpful. It's been extremely valuable for us and for our business. And, you can see I've made 49 of these things. So like, I am a power user. I really like this tool. I am building these things for clients. I'm building them for ourselves. I'm building them for lead gen. I'm building them for affiliates. I'm building them for e-commerce. I'm building them for coaches, consultants. I'm like, you name it, this thing can do it. And the reason that it can do that is because it's not just, like the basic AIs. It's not just saying, all right, ChatGPT, go through and write this thing for me. Now, every single step in the funnel process, right? There's 7 steps in here. Each of these steps has their own dedicated AI, and then there's the orchestrator that's kind of running over the entire thing. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then the orchestrator. So there's 7 different AIs plugged into just the copy generation. Then we also have 9 additional AIs, in this case, that are the buyer avatars. And so those avatars are also being, fed all the information. They're being fed the updates, saying, hey, we need you to give feedback on this content before we actually publish. So this funnel here, right? This right here, this has already gone through, three layers of feedback, or rounds of feedback, probably be the best way to say it, because it's going through the first AI, then the orchestrator, and then Genti for the feedback through those avatars. It's like it's going through kind of a lot of stuff in here in order to make sure the content is actually good. And so I will show a little bit of that real quick. And then also, if you don't like the dark mode here, my wife asked for this. So this is also an option if you prefer a different design. So let me show you the admin side real quick, and I am specifically interested in the reference tab. So this is a little glance at the knowledge base that the AI is working off of. See, there are 984 pieces of material in here, like reference documents, all that kind of stuff. And then this is the whole thing. There's a lot. I'll grab one of these. So I don't want one that's on dressing because like it covers all kinds of stuff. What's this one? It's a case study. So it's a case study. This is the source for it. Here's an overview, keynotes, and then the the actual information that's coming out of that reference material. And so the idea isn't to replace like the source. It's being able to go and ask somebody, hey, or ask somebody who's already read the book, say, hey, how do I use this specific bit of information in order to write my copy? So like it's pretty darn handy. And like I said, there's a lot of stuff in here. We have everything from ad targeting functions and like categories. So these are the different ones for home and garden, kitchen and dining and lighting. So if you want to run Google ads to these folks, these are the categories that you can do. And again, this lets the AI know, hey, when we're going through and we're creating ads for the specific type of product or service, like these are the ads we can actually run. This is the targeting that we could actually run. So, like I said, there's a lot of really cool stuff in here, and it's been an extremely valuable tool. So, that being said, hopefully you guys can see the value behind this of being able to go and just build a really good, high-quality website with good high-quality copy and high-quality audience feedback, and do all that relatively quickly and easily. And really your job at that point becomes downloading the file from one AI, giving it to another, at least until I finish building out the site builder part of this thing too, which I'm excited about. I think that's going to be really cool. But yeah, so if you guys do want to come and check this out, again, the URL is funnel.tristongoodwin.com. And if I want to go back to landing page, so again, you can see the site demos right here. And you can see the output. So if you want to take a closer look at these, also if you want to take this or take some of these and give them to to your own AI and say, hey, here is a sample export from a funnel tool I'm thinking of signing up for, then is this good? Is this going to work for me? Like, is this going to be helpful? And then these just download as text files, right? So, and that way, like I said, your own AI can tell you, hey, this is good, this is bad, this will work in our system, this won't work in our system, and so on. And again, pricing for this, one funnel per month, $49. If you want to do up to 5 funnels, then that's $100. And then if you want us to build the funnels for you, then that's all right here. And then with this, like, my team will go through, we'll actually design the sites for you, we'll get everything else set up, get all your backend, all your admin stuff set up, make sure that any automations that the system needs are also up and running, and then additional ongoing support for a monthly fee if that's something that you're looking for. But otherwise, like I said, we can go and get these things built for you pretty quick, pretty painlessly, and again, these sites are they're really, really good. One of the main drivers for all the AI stuff that I do, for the stuff that I'm learning, for the stuff that I'm trying and testing and building, is I am trying to shore up my own weak points, right? I've never been good at writing copy. I suck at writing copy. And so that's why I built this. This is why I built Genti. So I can have something that can write the copy and then double check that copy to make sure it's actually good. Or in this case, right, we had 9 different avatars, so it's being double checked 9 times, right? It's powerful and it's helpful, and it's been doing us a lot of good. So I said, I'm excited to get this into your guys' hands and to see what all you can do with it and to start building some cool stuff. And of course, the entire funnel for signing up for this thing was built with the funnel tool, of course, because why wouldn't it be? I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I should mention in here. If you do need more than 5 funnels, just reach out to me. We can, we can work something out for you. So that way it's, for like high volume stuff. So that would be for like, folks are doing like e-commerce things where you want to have, 1,000 funnels for like all the different like products and everything you're having for like your ads, or for like other marketers where you're trying to set up, funnels and stuff for clients. Real estate's actually been a really interesting one as well. So going through and doing like individual listings that are like high value. There's a lot of cool stuff that we can do with this. So yeah, I think that's everything I've got for you guys. Hopefully you found this interesting and helpful, and has gotten you guys excited about building some sales funnels. I know we are. So have a good one.